evening, I'm Shane Jones, leading the news at 7. Amidst concerns about the way some road users operate, a confrontation between a motorist and some bikers almost turned deadly. Now, Cbc News and some others have been seeing some video that's been circulating of the encounter which occurred on the ABC highway. Our Shane Seeley has been on the road all day following that story and joins us live now with a comprehensive report. Bring us up to speed, Shane.
Well, I can tell you that the incident occurred around 6:15 yesterday evening, Shane, and we're trying to get that video for you tonight, but I can tell you that the earliest part of the video obtained from the CBC shows that one of the bikers, he seems to be squeezed by two vehicles, and once out of the roundabout, and that is by the Garfield Sobers roundabout, he speeds off between the bikers. Now, shortly after, the bikers surround a fallen bike, suggesting that the rider was knocked off by the motorist. Now, some of them take off after that motorist, catching up to him near the Renewable service station. It is there that the motorist's car is pelted, but he manages to maneuver through the traffic, and once he clears, he speeds off again and escapes. He's chased for some time by the bikers, who eventually give up. And now you're getting to see some of that video. You're seeing the biker here squeezing between the motorists, between the traffic, and that's when we see that one of them is knocked off the bike. The motorist, the bikers surround him, trying to figure out what occurred, and then they speed off after that motorist who would have hit their comrade there. And of course, this video is coming straight from the police. They're speeding off after the motorist here. And shortly afterwards, the fallen bike suggesting the rider was knocked off by the motorist. Now, some of them take off after him, and you can see, well, you just saw all of that action there. Now, the incident has been reported to the District A police station, and lawmen there are actively investigating the situation. The police public relations officer, the acting assistant inspector, Roland Cobbler, he says they've seen the video circulating on social media. He termed the actions of the bikers dangerous and reckless, and says this type of behavior will not be tolerated on the roads of Barbados.
I can confirm that we are conducting investigations into an accident and a number of criminal matters as it relates to this video. We are concerned about this careless behavior by motorcyclists, which not only exposes them to harm or death, but also innocent road users. I want to encourage motorists to encounter individuals engaging in this type of practice, where possible, to avoid any confrontation and try to seek the assistance of the police in investigating their matter.
Now, the increasing incidence of stunt ridings on the road of Barbados is causing drivers to speak out and in some cases retaliate. The CBC team took to the streets today to get a consensus on what is being deemed as ridiculous behavior on our roads.
It's very ridiculous. The road is not a place for them to practice their stunts. If they want a place to practice their stunts, get together and purchase the area and do that, because it's very dangerous not only to them but to the people driving behind and in front of them. I had to deal with it this morning. A guy was wheeling in front of me, so I had to slow down to make sure that he doesn't injure me by accident.
I slow down, I give them the road, I check my mirrors to make sure where they're going, and I let them go on their merry way. It can be very dangerous for me and anybody else on the road.
I feel very strongly about them. I think they're a real hazard to both drivers and to pedestrians, and I think they should be picked up by the police. I think everyone can see them, and I don't know why more aren't picked up and charged wherever the offence is.
And a road safety consultant, Junior Jordan, is pleading with the riders to desist from the practice. He offered his comments on the issue.
If they know there are areas where groups gather, call the police. The two numbers which I referred to earlier, 211 and 467-2725. Unfortunately, I have the areas where they frequent and go to some service stations, if you will. I have seen, I believe, a few months ago, as many as 40 or 45 bikers on a service station's premises. And some of them were getting fuel legitimately, but others were weaving in and around traffic and cars and pedestrians. In fact, at that time when I saw them, some people who were in the mini-mart were afraid to come out because of the stunts that they were doing.
Now, Mr. Jordan went on to say that drivers also have a responsibility to ensure their safety on the road. He also made it clear that drivers should not challenge riders as it can lead to retaliation from the pack.
I also want to make an appeal to families. If you know any of your family members who are unfortunately engaged in this kind of activity, it will be to your advantage and theirs to have a quiet word with them, allow them to understand the danger at which they place themselves, but more importantly, the other people who are on the streets who are most unfortunate to encounter these people, in some cases, coming the wrong way on the streets.
So there you heard it from road safety consultant Junior Jordan, and of course the police continue to investigate this case, and we will bring you more details as they unfold.
Thank you so much, Shane. But before you go, Shane, a question I was asking, because I know you've been following this story very closely. We've been hearing something about the motorist actually going towards the police station in that footage that we've been seeing.
Well, Shane, I am understanding, I was speaking to Inspector Cobbler moments before we came on the set, and he said to me that the motorist actually drove off and came straight to the District A police station and would have reported the incident to police. Of course, he would have reported the incident as he saw it happening and he saw it occurring. So we'll wait to hear more from police on what exactly unfolded, but no one has been arrested as yet, or no one has been held in connection with the case.
And you know, we've been hearing a lot about the bikers saying that they're looking for the guy and they want to probably have a face-to-face confrontation with him. Has the inspector said anything about that?
No, he didn't speak specifically about the confrontation, but as you just heard Junior Jordan say, retaliation is not the answer to this situation. Drive carefully on the roads of Barbados.
Okay, thank you so much. That's Shane Seeley with that story. We'll take a break now and come back with more news.
Don't let your data experience slow you down. Step up to Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network, more than twice as fast as the slow network. Get more with Digicel. Digicel, the fastest 4G network in Barbados. Dial *153# to sign up to Digicel today.
It's the most wonderful time to stay connected with Flow. Get great deals on prepaid and postpaid plans. Get double the talk, double the text, and double the data when you activate a prepaid or postpaid combo plan, sizes medium and up. All this plus $50,000 to be won from Flow this wonderful Christmas. Visit us in store today.
'Cause it's the most wonderful time of the year.
What's your idea of holiday happiness?
Watching the kids open presents. Preparing for a new arrival.
The look on his face. Add to your holiday happiness with a Scotia Plan loan from Scotiabank. You could win cash and more. Get your loan today at your nearest branch. Conditions apply.
Investing in renewable energy is not only a massive opportunity for Barbadians to save money, but also to make some. President of the Barbados Renewable Energy Association, Aidan Rogers, made the point during his recent presentation of the 12th Samuel Jackman Prescott Memorial Lecture. The lecture is titled The Renewable Energy Revolution, Empowering the Future Barbados.
There are strategic investment programs, and BREA is in the process of working on them with the utility company and some of our private sector partners, where you can almost have 100% financing mechanisms, where a Barbadian, no financing, can invest in a photovoltaic system or invest in a utility scale solar or wind farm in Barbados and receive a monthly check from the first month the system is commissioned.
The Berea president went on to explain why investment in renewable energy is so important.
The reason this investment is important is because the 66 cents in every dollar, which between 2010 and 2014 translated to an average of 390 million Barbados dollars going out of the country annually just for electricity generation. If we are the investors in generating that electricity that is now sold to the utility company, that money stays here. You could not want a better source of economic enfranchisement and empowerment than that. We have to make it happen.
Barbadians in water-scarce communities are being urged to sign on to the Barbados Water Authority's personal tank program. BWA Corporate Communications Specialist Joyanne Haig says the water tanks could be a savior for outages and during natural disasters.
The tank is not here only as a response to drought. If, God forbid, we are hit with a natural disaster and there's debris on the ground and pumping stations are down and the trees we can't get in, these tanks will last you for, depending on the size of the family, but in case like Mrs. Small, possibly close to 9 days or even more, and depending on her usage, until help comes, until everything returns to normal. So that is important that every person eventually in this country, vulnerable or not, will have a tank or should have a tank, whether it's through this program or otherwise. So that is our target, to ensure that that happens. So it's not only just a response to the drought, but also to natural disaster.
Ms. Haig explains the tanks allow for a continuous supply of water.
The tank system has been designed two ways to be filled. It has been designed that it can be filled via the main when the water is on. If the water goes off, the tank will kick in, which means main is off, the tank will kick in. Mr. Small or somebody, she wouldn't even know that the water supply is off. That's the good thing about it. If the water supply goes before the mains are repaired or water is restored, the tanker service now will kick in and then fill that tank for Mr. Small after a period of like 9 days or so. So either way, it's a win-win situation.
The Queen Elizabeth Hospital has been on the receiving end of millions of dollars in philanthropic aid over the past 3 years. This disclosure from Chief Executive Officer of the QEH, Dr. Dexter James. He says the support received is a welcome supplement to government-provided assistance. Dr. James praised Corporate Barbados for its acceptance of the QEH's vision to develop and improve the care and services they provide.
Since the launch of our philanthropic drive about 3 years ago, we have to date raised about $10.3 million in donations, predominantly for capital improvements. Many of our medical intensive care units, the Ward C9, the cardiac suite, pediatrics receive a generous outpouring of donations, and it just suggests to us that there is corporate goodwill for the development of services here in Barbados.
Dr. James was speaking during a donation of $10,000 by Banks Holdings Limited to the QEH. Corporate Affairs Manager at BHL, Sophia Cambridge, revealed the funds will go towards refurbishment of the QEH's chapel.
Our contribution this afternoon is really the start of a 3-year program. This afternoon we're contributing $10,000 to start the refurbishment work at the chapel. But as I say, we are going to be not putting a full stop at the end of that particular contribution, but we will be moving forward to see how else we can assist, particularly on the spiritual side.
A Barbadian journalist has been chosen to represent the Americas as a participant in the International Leading Change program. CBC's own Denise Blackman was announced this morning as the first ever Barbadian to be included in the project created by the University of Cambridge for young journalists across the globe. Under the Leading Change initiative, she will be required to produce work in 2017 which highlights issues of development within Barbados and across the Americas.
So my particular subject areas that I'm going to work with are immigration. It shows immigration with regards to Barbados, as well as climate change, and specifically within climate change, the vulnerability of small islands. I also chose to highlight the good work being done by young people across the Americas who, despite difficulties or challenges, were still able to make a significant contribution to their particular society, And overall, this program is meant to spur dialogue on issues affecting people across the world. And the other winners, for example, are from Kenya, the UK, Singapore, and Australia. So I am grateful for the opportunity, and I want to thank the Leading Change team under the University of Cambridge.
Congrats, Denise. Well, still to come, a look at stories from across our region. But before we get there, here's a tip from Coverley Medical Center.